is everything that you need to know to make Cantarella the strongest Havoc sub DPS. Cantarella is a Havoc rectifier sub DPS with coordinated attacks that can heal, boost Havoc damage amp, and skill damage amp. Alright, so with her basic attacks, she has a 3-hit combo that does Havoc damage. With her heavy attack, she consumes stamina and does Havoc damage. You can also just hold the heavy attack button and then she does her plunge attack. Bam. You can also use her heavy attack to enter her enhanced illusion state called Mirage. So when you have more than one 40 stack and you do a heavy attack, it puts you underwater. She can freely move here and you can also use this in water, where she gains a 40 stack every 5 seconds. She also swims faster in water and consumes less stamina. Her heavy attack will be a main part of her kit, since she always wants to be in her Mirage state to use her enhanced attacks. With her mid-air attacks, you just jump and then she consumes stamina to do plunging attacks, dealing Havoc damage. Dodge counter, you dodge, attack to do Havoc damage. So when it comes to her skill, it depends on whether she's in Mirage or not. So if she's not, then she just attacks the enemy and does Havoc damage. But if she's in Mirage, then she attacks the enemy, does Havoc damage, and puts the enemy in Hazy Dream, which also slows down the enemy for 6.5 seconds or until they get attacked. But if Cantarella attacks the enemy, then Jolt will activate, so the enemy will take Havoc damage, which is considered basic attack damage, and Hazy Dream will end, which means the enemy will go back to normal speed. And if any other character on your team attacks the enemy under Hazy Dream, then the enemy will just go back to normal speed. So Cantarella is the only character who can activate Jolt. Her enhanced skill is also considered as an echo skill. When it comes to her forte, she has 2 forte bars. So with the first one, she can hold up to 5 forte stacks called Trance. Her forte is mostly tied to Mirage. Alright, so I've been talking about Mirage a lot, so what is it? It's her enhanced state where she puts you under an illusion that you're underwater. To enter it, you just have to do a heavy attack. When you have more than one 40 stack, it lasts for 8 seconds or until you run out of 40 stacks. So how do you get 40 stacks? You can get one 40 stack from her intro, basic attack stage 3, and skill. Her ultimate gives you 3 40 stacks, so you'll need some ER to make her rotations fast. Oh, and she also gets one 40 stack every 5 seconds when she's in water. Alright, now that you have the 40 stacks, what do? You use them to enter Mirage, which enhances all of her attacks. They get replaced with an enhanced version, like her basic attacks for example. If you do 3 basic attacks, then she'll do 3 extra coordinated attacks, and every time you hit an enemy with her enhanced attacks, you consume one 40 stack to get 1 stack of Shiver, and then she heals the team. The healing scales with her attack, so the higher your attack stat, the more healing she will do. So what is Shiver? It's her second 40 bar. As you can see, she can hold up to 3 of them. Every time she gets a stack of Shiver, she heals the team, and once she gets 3 of them, her skill will light up. When you use her enhanced skill, she uses up all of her Shiver stacks and attacks the enemy, dealing Havoc damage, considered basic attack damage. She sends the enemy into Hazy Dream and heals the entire team. This can be cast in mid-air and is considered an echo skill. Okay, so why is echo skill mentioned so often in her kit? Well, it's because she has Abyssal Rebirth on her forte, which means that after you cast her intro, then for 25 seconds, every time an echo skill is activated by anyone on your team, Cantarella gets 6 conserve energy. Echoes with the same name can only trigger this once. So basically, you want her to trigger this 4 times through a Mirage enhanced skill, enhanced Shiver skill, her ultimate, and also her forecast echo. As for the last 2, you get them from your teammate's forecast echo. Her ultimates can be cast in mid-air. She does an initial hit where she attacks the enemy, does Havoc damage, considered basic attack damage, and an echo skill. Also, every time Cantarella or characters on your team attack an enemy, a jellyfish will spawn and attack the enemy too. They spawn once every 1 second. This lasts for 30 seconds and up to 21 jellyfish can be summoned this way. These Havoc coordinated attacks are considered as basic attack damage. When it comes to her intro, she has 2 intros, an enhanced one and a normal one. So with her normal one, she attacks the enemy, does Havoc damage, and you can do a basic attack right after to put her on stage 3 of her basic attacks. For her enhanced intro, you need to be in Mirage, and with this, she does 3 extra coordinated attacks. With her outro, she amplifies the next character's Havoc damage bonus by 20% and skill damage by 25% for 14 seconds or until the character is switched out. Let's get to her inherent skills. Inherent skill 1, healing bonus is increased by 20%. Inherent skill 2, casting echo skill gives 6% Havoc damage bonus for 10 seconds, stacking up to 2 times to get 12% Havoc damage bonus. If you're confused right now, then don't worry. Once we get to her rotations, you will understand her a lot better. So when it comes to her skill priority, her forte is the most important one, since most of her damage is here. Next we have her skill to increase the damage of Jolt and her enhanced skill. Next we have ultimate, but her coordinated attacks have low scaling. Same with her basic attacks, low scaling, and it won't really get used much. And then we have her intro, which can get expensive with the weekly boss mats, so I would leave it at 5 or 6. let's move on to the weapons. Like most characters, her signature is amazing on her. So with the main stats, attack, low for a 5-star, but she makes up for it with a high crit damage. 72%, it's insane and will make building her a lot easier since she also has crit rate on her skill tree, and then you get an extra 12% attack here. It's usually either 12% attack or 12% elemental damage bonus on 5-star weapons. As for the weapon skill, you need to use an echo skill within 10 seconds of casting her intro or basic attacks to get 1 stack. So you can get up to 2 stacks. The first stack gives you 40% basic attack damage bonus, and the second stack lets you ignore 12% of the enemy's Havoc res. But yep, you already guessed it, I can't recommend this weapon because Cantarella is the only character in the game who can use 2 echo skills in such a short amount of time. So yeah, on every single other character you'll only be getting 40% basic attack damage bonus. But yeah, even this is not that great for other characters since this buff ends as soon as you switch off Cantarella or whoever that has this weapon. So yeah, you'll only have the 12% attack here and everything else here will be deleted. Yep, this won't boost your coordinate attacks damage. I can't recommend this weapon to free-to-play players, especially since the next banner is the Shorekeeper, and we also have Camellia, this version, who's the best DPS across all game modes. So only get her weapon if you already have the Shorekeeper and you want to do the most amount of damage possible with her. I mean, I would get her weapon if I could, but yeah, I'm saving for an anniversary version in a few weeks from now. Next we have Jeja's weapon, which has the same main stat as Cantarella's weapon. It increases attack too. It also boosts basic attack damage, which Cantarella needs, but there's barely any difference between Jeja's signature and the best weapon in the game, the String Master. Same attack, but crit rate instead, which can be really good if you have the coordinated attack set on her, the Empyrean Anthem. Phoebe's signature is just a stat stick, like the standard rectifier, so yeah, same damage, unless you run Cantarella in a Spectrofrazzle team, which I hope you're not doing. The standard rectifier is good on her too. The ER can help with her requirements, but I would personally prioritize the standard sword first and the standard gun before I get this. As for the 4 stars, the best one is the augment at R5. The damage is pretty close to the standard 5-star rectifier, but I feel like most people who have this at R5 probably have enough pulls to get her signature or already have the String Master. Next we have the Fusion Accretion, which can help with her ER requirements, but yeah, less damage. Last weapon is the Jinhsi Keeper, which I don't recommend, just save your resources. Next we have the Echo set. So she has 5 Echo sets. It depends on her role in the team. So if you're using her as a sub DPS in a Havoc team, then the Midnight Veil is her best set. But if you're using her as a sub DPS buffer on non-Havoc teams, then yeah, the Moonlit Cloud set and the Empyrean Anthem set. I will just slap the Moonlit Cloud set on her since she doesn't really have her best Havoc team yet. So I'm not going with the Midnight Veil set yet, but I'll have to eventually. As for the Empyrean Anthem, I already have my Moonlit Cloud set ready, and the Empyrean set needs a lot more investment to get more damage than the Moonlit Cloud set. So Moonlit is the easiest, but if you like min-maxing, then yeah, go with the Empyrean for now, or Midnight Veil. I think the difference between the Moonlit Cloud set with average investment, so not that high, compared to the Empyrean Atom set with more investment, was like 2%, so yeah, not that much. You can also use the Rejuvenating Glow set on her if you're using her as a pure healer. Yep, the Havoc Eclipse set works on her too, but she's better as a sub DPS than a main DPS, and nothing is stopping you from giving her your dungeon sets or Camellia. Alright, so for the forecast, Midnight Veil, the Loroi is the best. Moonlit Cloud, yep, like always, the Heron. Empyrean, the Hekada. Rejuvenating Glow, the Fallacy of No Return. And as for the Havoc set, the new Nightmare Crown list, yeah, Camellias. As for the Echo main stat, it's basically the same on all 5 sets. 4 cost, crits. 3 cost is double Havoc. 1 cost is double attack. The substats are the same too on all sets. You want at least 140% ER, since her ultimate helps with her 4A stack generation. And then we have the usual crits, attack, and basic attack damage bonus. As for the recommended stats, you want 1900 attack, 70% crit rate, 250 crit damage, 140% ER, and at least 20% basic attack damage bonus. As for the teams, she doesn't really have that many options right now. So some of you guys might think, oh, Havoc damage amp, so Camellia. But no, full Camellia, you'd get more out of Sanhua or Dungeon. But if you still want to use her in a Havoc team, then for the main DPS, you have Camellia, Dungeon, Havoc Rover, Cantarella on the Midnight Veil set, and any healer that you have. stuff. So as for the second part of her outro, skill damage, which is more than Havoc damage, her best teams right now would be Carlotta if you don't have Jeju, Cantarella, on Moon with Cloud or the Empyrean Anthem set, and any healer. But her best teammate would be Jinhsi for now. This is also what I will do. So yeah, same Echo set and any healer that you want. I kind of want to test her with Jinhsi, Moon with Jeju. As for the healer, Cantarella on the Rejuvenating Glow set. Jinhsi's forte generation would be insane, but yeah, I'll save that for another video since this team is super expensive. Alright, let me just speedrun her sequences in 30 seconds. S1, skill gives on 40 stack plus 50% skill damage multipliers. Forte's enhanced skill has interruption immune. S2, ultimate puts enemy in hazy dream. Jolt's multiplier is increased by 245%. S3, plus 370% multipliers to ultimate and it puts her in mirage. S4, plus 25% healing bonus. S5, plus 5 jellyfish from ultimate's coordinate attacks, so 26 now. S6, increases basic attack damage multipliers by 80% in mirage. Ultimate makes Cantarella ignore 30% of the enemy's defense for 10 seconds. Hazy dream lasts for 1.2 seconds, even if enemy is attacked. So for her rotations, you start with a normal intro, basic attack right after, to put you in basic attack stage 3, and get a 40 stack. Skill for another 40 stack, ultimate for the last 3 40 stacks, heavy attack for mirage, skill, basic attack 1, 2, 3, enhanced skill, Echo, and then outro. So if she worth pulling, well, hear me out. She's really unique and a great sub DPS with good buffs, but the only thing holding her back is that she doesn't have her best team yet that can fully use her kit to its max potential. So she's in a weird place right now in the meta. I mainly got her for my Jinhsi team to free up Jeju for my Carlotta team, but she's not really needed right now in any teams. I mean, for pure Havoc damage, you have Dungeon. For healer buffer, you have the Shorekeeper. And for Jinhsi, Jeju already does her job well. I think most people who pulled her didn't do it for meta. They played her story and liked her character, so she's not a must pull for now, but by the time we have her next rerun, she will be insane. If this video helped you, then you can help me by liking and subscribing, and yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Thank you so much for watching.